Good day, good night, good morning, good day, and bienvenidos. Is this what they say in Portugal? In Brazil,
Oh
sorry?
Lord,
No
I don't
not
know.
idea.
Bienvenue.
that.
It's if that's the it's welcome and bienvenue and the English and French are the official language of the Olympics. But anyway,
Perfect.
good day everyone and welcome to another edition, an Olympic size edition of our podcast. We're sorry we came a little bit late, but you know what? We were watching the Olympics. I'm just sorry. Life goes on.
Life
But we're
goes
happy
on.
to be back with you and giving it all to you about the Olympic tennis, the good, the bad, the very ugly, the not so cute. So, ladies, before I go on, the hostesses with the mostesses, we have Andreen from foreign. No, I'm sorry.
From foreign
This
California.
is way past my bedtime. We have Andreen from Solely Tennis Travel. How are you?
Not as drunk as you apparently.
Apparently, you know what I'm saying? And your mic is working, so I have no excuse this week. And we have Janina, the Kato Kalin of podcast, all the way from foreign Ohio.
Hola.
And these ladies will be together at some point next week, and without Realz. Just letting you know, they'll be live and direct from foreign Cincinnati. I'm just saying. So I'm a little bitter about that right now, but you know what? Moving on. So, ladies, the Olympics is finally on, and I'm
It's
surprised.
here.
This budget games, I swear. I swear they was gonna shut down after the opening ceremony. I thought they were gonna plug out the probably like lock. Y'all are way past budget now. We gotta do something. I swear the repo man was gonna come in and clear shit out. This is mine. You grab the Olympic torch. I pay for that. Yeah, don't have it. But apparently it's happening.
I'm pretty sure they came and tried to take some toilets because they all seem to be broken.
Oh no.
Did y'all see that? Did you see the Jamaican team going through the hotel with all the broken stuff on video? Someone posted it on Facebook.
Oh,
I was
God.
like, oh my God, we've got broken toilets, broken sinks, tiles laying all over the place. I mean, it was ridiculous. Not to mention that college dorm rooms are nicer than the Olympic Village rooms.
And that's not saying. I'm telling you. I mean, even
You know what?
in
I
like,
want to know if sorry, Reels. I want to know about other people's rooms. Like all the other stars are staying in the village too, right? Like the tennis people are staying there. So how come no one's like shown me footage of their awesome room? All I've got
because they're not awesome.
You know what I mean? Like I guess the other thing is everybody's either silent or
I think they're being silent. I really
Okay.
do. I think they're being silent. They may not have broken shit, but it ain't nice, so there's no reason to brag about it. I really think that's what's going on.
yeah,
brutal.
maybe someone might be able to be like, no, don't say anything about this. Don't say anything about this. People, come on now, let it go. But I mean, like, I'm happy that no one has died yet. And
Did you just say yet?
Yeah. Well, 2 people were killed, but it was
Not
during
athletes.
a sort of not athletes. It was during an altercation. Which, by the way, I was at an event and I mentioned it, and somebody was like, "That person's a spy." That person was a spy. That was a Russian
really?
spy. No way this is happening.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
No way someone coming up to you and like pointing a gun and then you immediately dismantle that person, take their gun and shoot them. I mean, who's doing that?
Oh wow. I don't know about this. Yeah,
Not
that person
a
was
die.
definitely a spy. I'm on that boat.
They picked the wrong person to try to fuck with that day.
Basically, now supposedly he was like an ambassador for Russia, and I was like, okay.
Get the side eye out.
Yeah.
Get it out now.
Meanwhile, we're here in Russia. Russia is at the games, and I mean, like, I gotta tell you.
Wait, no. Let's start back though. Let's go back. Let's talk about the ceremony. How was that for y'all?
Okay, the opening ceremony was it was bad. It was listen, when the commentators when the commentators flat out say that they were upfront about not having a lot of money, so they had to do the best with what they had, it isn't going to be spectacular.
It isn't a budget, I'm telling you.
It wasn't awful. It just wasn't great. That's where I'm at with it.
Well, I mean, it was hard. I mean, it was hard to compete with. I mean, it's going to be hard to compete with the last major one that I remember. Even though I guess Beijing was not London. Everybody's like talking about London. I was like, I barely remember London. I think the only part of London that I remember was the Spice Girls, which is probably not a good thing, and the Queen. That was
the thing about London. See, London's was boring, but it wasn't bad. Like, you didn't feel like as you were watching it that they didn't have production value, that they just didn't have money to put into it. It just wasn't great because it wasn't I didn't understand a lot of it.
Thank you.
Because
it looked like some beady, stuffy old woman decided from some Duchess of Dowager.
I don't know the history of NHS. And you're not really going to teach it to me in the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. So,
I mean,
it's just like kind of
this is time to teach about healthcare at the Olympics.
Well, because like it was
we're going to talk about the history of your country.
They thought that was the most signature. I think they think that that's what they're known for. That's their signature thing.
Really?
That I know, which is interesting that they think that. I mean, but what were you going to do? Colonization? I mean, that's not.
You see, that was nepotism at work. A friend of a friend. That was bullshit.
Listen, I was watching Rio with my sister, and they totally did colonization, didn't they? My sister was like, "Look, here come the white people taking over," and it's exactly what was happening. I mean, did you guys catch that?
I mean, look,
it happened. Rio did that.
To be,
they did it. They went there.
It ain't nobody's Sabbath on this Monday, but I'm gonna be 100% truthful. I didn't really watch the opening ceremony.
I watched every fucking thing.
But I'm happy you did. I just watched some Parade of Nation and whatever. But I would tell you two things that really caught my eye. One, I'm gonna go with the really bad. Why the fuck was Giselle Bundchen walking on?
I know. I thought that was the weirdest thing.
What was that?
Yeah, that was really, really weird.
Just in some, she would look like she was in like plastic aluminum foil and walking. Like, what was that? That was
the most famous export from Brazil is some model actress.
That was something that was trying to tell me something. But you know what? I don't know if we have time, to stay on a time to deal with that.
We don't.
Secondly, I mean, the most important thing that happened at whole Olympics was the Toga guy coming out in hot coconut oil.
The oiled man.
I'm telling you. He played taekwondo. Look.
Yeah, can we also talk about the fact that I thought Brazil had a 50-something% black population.
Oh, they do. And probably
they hide them.
But
where are they? They were not.
They were in the slave portion of the opening ceremony.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure because they were not on stage. I mean, what we talked about, we had Guga, which fine, that's nice for tennis, but at the same time, and I know we were going to have
German descent, if I'm not mistaken.
I know, and we know we were going to have Pele, but of course he got sick. But at the same time, I was looking at that thing and I was like, this country does not look like a country that has an overwhelmingly African descent population.
Well, I'll tell
represented.
You I had a conversation with lovely Drama Girl, our faithful listener that we adore, and she spent some time in Rio, and she said they have in Rio specifically, they have a real race issue, a race problem, and they don't like to acknowledge their dark people.
Well, I mean, I knew that.
It's something that happens throughout Latin America, including from Mexico all the way right down to Argentina. Argentina has a serious problem with that, where you just they just literally put people of color in. Let me not say they're literal, but they just basically demarginalize these people, marginalize these people.
I know that about Argentina.
And they're not even counted. They try to call them some other name. And Brazil imported more slaves than any other region in the New World, basically more than America, as a matter of fact.
I know, but you couldn't tell by you can't tell by the
they
audience.
were not represented.
I think hence why Giselle Bundchen decided that they put Giselle Bundchen to walk on the catwalk with that nonsense.
Here you go. We have something pretty for you. Here.
Right?
Yeah, this is what you need to remember. But
I was honestly just waiting for her to fall, and it didn't happen.
Whatever. I was just like, somebody paid for your ticket and give you money to come in for this bullshit. No wonder y'all are fucking this game is expensive because she was a waste of money. That could have been a light fixture and two bathroom sinks right there.
Maybe she donated her time, I'm hoping, so that we can pan to her every 10 minutes. Which, by the way, every people celebrated, but I was just like, why are you panning to this model actress / / whatever she is
right?
in the audience. It was like, hey, here's a white person, or hey, here's a Brazilian that looks just like you. Hey, don't hate the Brazilians. Whatever. I just didn't like any of the I didn't like any of the ceremony in that sense, and I just didn't. I don't like the lack of representation for what's culturally
That's
there.
what happened when you have a region, and America take notes. But when you have a region with people of color and it's such a diverse community, and you try to whitewash it out and put a very small percentage of it, and you don't have any culture, you don't have nothing. Because if you
It
have
was
people of
bland.
color
It was
up in
bland.
that mix up in there, it would have been on and popping. It would have. I mean, I thought we were gonna put on Carnival. I thought it was gonna
they
be
said
Carnival
that.
down there.
You
But
see, I didn't see it live, so I don't know if people saw an unedited version. I saw the NBC edited version, and they kept promising a samba party, and I was like, "Where's the party? Nothing. They had one dance.
They thought
it
happened. They
and then
really
people
thought
coming
it
out on
happened, but it didn't
bicycles, trying to
happen.
bring in countries. I got in some ice cream truck. I ain't got ice cream.
You know, I mean, listen, the outfits.
Bring on Tokyo. Bring on Tokyo. Let me see Kay run up and down, and ice cream. Bring on Tokyo. I'm ready.
No, I'm actually really intrigued by Tokyo because I can already just imagine that's
gonna be amazing.
That's gonna be spectacular.
It's gonna be amazing. Well, because in some ways it's easier when you have like cultural sort of uniformity on some level, right?
Yeah,
you don't
sure.
have to blend any sort of cultural storylines. You're not having to sort of whitewash the tale you're gonna tell.
Atlanta was really nice. Atlanta was really
that was
wonderful.
Atlanta. See, that's Atlanta.
And Atlanta borrowed from all over the place because they took from the Caribbean, most definitely. Australia finally acknowledged their Aboriginal community,
which is the only interesting part about that
Olympic ceremony. Exactly. Greece.
You got to deal with your indigenous people. Your indigenous people are the most interesting thing about your country. Otherwise, you're just another shade of any other place. Your indigenous folk are the ones that hold.
Copy.
Yeah.
You're just
you're just like a carbon copy of some other thing.
And it's a bad one.
Anywho.
So it was pretty much just not good. They had people in what looked like foam costumes that they maybe got from the Dollar Tree. I don't know. It wasn't good.
Well, we understand.
I'm telling you, if the most interesting thing after like 3-4 hours was the man coming out in hot coconut oil rub all over his body, I mean, Rio, come on, you did nothing. Because I could.
Well, you know what? Their budget got savaged. I think when they first got the Olympics 10 years earlier, their economy was skyrocketing, and now they're mired in controversy. They don't have the old president that was there is no longer. I think she's been elected, and they and their economy took a nosedive. So even the value of their money is gone. Yeah, she's been impeached. So it's just I feel like we all knew that from the beginning. But I think to me it's like if you're gonna savage neighborhoods and run roughshod over the country, then at least create a party that everyone can enjoy. And it just doesn't seem to me that.
I just keep waiting for it to be over. The cauldron part was cool.
That thing that they have there that was moving, that's absolutely
beautiful.
Stunning and beautiful. Absolutely stunning and beautiful. That was about the best.
That was the best part.
But I have to say that I don't want to spend too much time on this topic, but historically, the capital of Brazil used to be Rio de Janeiro, as you may have known, and they changed it because of overpopulation, crime, etc. They tried to move it to Brasilia, and they moved all the municipal offices, etc. there, and trying to get the people to move there, but no one really did, and the population just continued to grow in Brazil, in Rio, and I don't understand why someone thought that was really the place to have. You had problems. Historically, you've had problems in that city just managing local affairs. And you decided, okay, we're going to bring the international world here to have this big, massive game.
I think usually you think it's an opportunity to clean up a problematic part of your city. So it's like you're going to use the resources and the attention to kind of transform a previously crappy part. Because I think to some degree that's kind of what happened in London. They took some of the maybe dodgier parts of London and tried to repurpose them with the Olympics. They got new housing over there, and so that's usually the rationale is let's take some place that's kind of not great and make it more inhabitable. But You know,
But
it just
I mean,
didn't.
I don't know because I mean, first of all, I think this is an excellent opportunity for us to really delve into the fact that the IOC is a mafia organization that really
Pretty
needs to
much.
be handled differently. We
You
should
know
have
what?
seen that this was going to be the problems that are facing Rio. We should have seen that this was already coming, and there should be a contingency plan where countries accepted to take on this responsibility of hosting the game, knowing that they cannot, and then what's gonna happen? Because I mean, security. I mean, like literally. I mean, like I was watching
Well,
Venus.
other nations are helping. I mean, the U.S. sent their own security forces, and other people have. I mean, that's just the
Yeah,
only way
they had
anyone is
to.
going to stay
Right,
safe.
but I mean, I was watching a Venus match, and two men came on cold, and I was having a conversation
I
right in the middle of
know.
Venus. I was just like, "What the fuck is this?" And then it was up to Marion and Alves to tell them, "You need to go and move." And like, where is? I mean, like, there was, and these were not even two men who were like, ground staff and whatever. They looked like they were lost and figuring. Actually, they looked like they needed a place to have a conversation. I'm just like, "Hey, why not have it right here? What the fuck
Well,
you?"
people have been doing that all week. People are just randomly wandering on court. Like, wait, are you playing tennis? I'm sorry. Well, how are they to know? It's like a sandy mess out there. So they...
Yeah, they didn't realize it was a court.
I'm sorry. Yes.
All right, let's move on. Let's keep this.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep on moving. We can't, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Okay.
so Rio's been a mess so far,
Yes, I'm telling
aesthetically
you.
and whatever.
Aesthetically, and competition-wise, it's been up and down. At least
Yeah.
in tennis world, it looks like a weird version of a 250.
Very weird.
You
You
know,
give it too
like you
much.
know what it
You
is?
give it too much.
Yeah,
I
you know
think-
what it is? No one seems up for it. I mean, I don't know if I'm
I
projecting
think-
because
no,
I'm not
I-
up for it, but
no,
it feels
they're
like
not.
everyone is just like, okay, things aren't working out, I'm leaving. You know?
So many people have
Are we
pulled
talking
out.
about the tennis here right now? On the tennis?
Well,
No, I'm talking
just-
about I'm talking a little bit about just the tennis. Why?
Well, I mean, to me, what happened here, but it's very interesting, right? Because it's very because the court is very problematic where it's built because apparently matches were almost canceled or suspended because of wind. I mean, I don't know what the fuck is happening here, but I mean, we saw something similar in Madrid, right, in 2012. We put out the blue K, everyone made a big fuss, everyone complained, made noise, whatever the case may be, and they complained and said, oh, they didn't test this, that there wasn't enough research going into this, et cetera, et cetera. And this is clearly the problem that's happening in Rio. Clearly the problem. Like, no one has ever really played on these codes. These codes are very problematic, and I'm sure center court is playing crazily different than everywhere else. I'm sure it's like 15 different surfaces, and no one is really saying anything. And to me, this is kind of like where the ITF and all these kind of organizations really dropped the ball. They basically didn't ensure that that the level of the playing surfaces was that good. Because I mean, this is a hard code playing. I mean, it's night and day. The center code is playing really quick during the day, and at night you might as well be playing in the top hit.
Well, I don't know if it's playing really quick during the day because I watch some day matches and I can't tell. I mean, I think I was like, I don't know what's going on
it's
here.
playing very different.
Yeah, why can't we finish points? I mean, it's a nightmare to watch players hit these balls. So because it's not, you can't win from a finishing shot. You're basically winning from an error. That's just
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen that a lot. It's been messy.
Yeah.
So, what have you watched so far that you've liked? Any sports?
Oh, I mean, what haven't I watched? I mean, I'm telling you.
We're not talking about you oogling over men in pools.
Oh, let me
You know
just
what?
put that out there. Andreen, and don't you see, this is why I don't, I gotta get me another man on this podcast because you bitches be setting me up. First of all, Andreen, don't make me blow your spot up. I know you're not feeling. I'm not gonna blow your spot up. I'm gonna be a nice Christian, wannabe Christian person today. Not gonna say shit, but I'm gonna just say, come on now. These are the top of the top in their field and sport. Okay, these people are. I mean, like, oh, good Jesus. I mean, look. I mean, I just gotta say, I need some more people of color up in the mix in the swimming pool, and that has been improving. Shout out to that French man who spammed the opening leg for the French team. Ooh, mister, you can get it anytime you want to. Wee. But I mean, these people have some freaking hot, amazing bodies. I mean, I don't know if it's all natural. I don't know if it's not extra additive, but you know what? I just want to. I would like to do a scratch and sniff and touch test and say, hey,
You're
this is
funny.
real.
Scratch and sniff, touch test.
Yeah, look,
That just happened.
for research purposes only.
Of course.
Just letting you know.
I'm
But
so
I mean, some of the competition. I mean, swimming is always an exciting time, particularly since it's always skewed the American point of view. And Americans are pretty good swimmers. But it's funny because I watch the Olympics twice per day. I mean, I watch it when it's really happening, most of the events, and they have an international set of broadcasters during the day, and they give a much more fair and balanced view. Then you come to the Americans, and we're watching the same shit, and then they're finding nitpicking errors and whatever. Even like I just watched swimming a while ago. Missy Franklin came last. She came last in the 200-meter semifinal. And you know what?
But apparently she's just not been well since the last Olympics.
But I mean,
What
I think
happened? Too much
She's
success?
been really, yes,
Too
she's
much
been
success,
really
that's what it
bad
is,
at
pretty much,
managing her
yeah.
schedule. She has dealt with some injuries, and she just hasn't been able to get back to where she was.
But I also think it's just like when you're a swimmer and you have to swim at multiple events, you have to take that training very, very, very seriously. You
Well,
have to
she's
be
not
crazy
swimming
disciplined.
nearly as much as she did.
That's
in the
because
last
she
Olympics.
wasn't qualified. She hadn't qualified, but she tried for a lot of the same events.
Yeah.
She didn't
Well,
qualify.
I mean, you know what? Listen, going hard and at one event and one Olympics is always massively amazing.
Right.
The expectation that the person is going to come back and do like Phelps or some of the others, it's a lot. You know what I mean? Like she had an
It's very
amazing
unrealistic.
Olympics.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it is,
That's
you know,
not my problem with her per se. I just felt that that she herself admitted that she didn't put in the hours.
Yeah.
And she's still young, but she's only 21. She got like 2 more Olympics left in her. And if she's anything like Dara Torres, she got like 5 more. So,
But remember, Dara Torres was fit, okay? She worked hard.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she'll get back. I've really enjoyed the swimming. I've enjoyed
bring
it.
back to the original point. But I have to say, I mean, my point was that what I don't like is that I have to endure NBC's coverage. And, for example, Missy Franklin came last in the 200-meter freestyle semifinal, and, they didn't talk about the other 7 women. They didn't. 7 women beat Missy Franklin, and from the beginning of the race to the end, we talked about Missy Franklin for 4 laps.
Well,
And she came last. And it's just like, what the fuck is that? It's like, come on now.
it's American TV. It's a little
That
bit
isn't
biased.
right, and that's not fair, because when they keep doing that, it make it seem like if somehow somebody's cheating the Americans all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. I mean, like, this isn't the Olympics International. I mean, like, you want medals. Yes, I get all of that, but this is for individual glory anyway. And
Right.
But like, there are other people competing, and respect that they worked hard as well. Not just Americans put in the hard hours. I mean, those are the people, and some of them had to endure far more shit than just having training centers and whatever. So I mean, come on now. The Olympics should celebrate all the people.
The coverage is really, what's interesting? I was just wondering about that. I don't know if you guys have memories of this. Like, how did we cover the Olympics when we only had one channel that was showing it? You know what I mean? Because
Well, they showed you
it's
what they
so
wanted.
amazing.
Yeah, they showed you what they wanted you to see. First of all, you didn't really have a choice. It was whatever was on, which was what you wanted. Which I don't honestly remember. I guess if you had cable TV, there was usually more than one channel of coverage for as long as I can remember. But if you didn't, then you watched whatever was on your local your local stations.
I remember being okay with the coverage. It's funny because I remember back in
because
the day,
they showed your favorite stuff. They showed the swimming, they showed track and field, they showed gymnastics.
and it wasn't always American centric.
Right, it wasn't.
You
It
know,
wasn't.
back then they would actually create a fuller picture of the sport, so that you'd be. I mean, because how else would we know to cheer for Boganskaya or
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Because
Like
people had
back
purpose.
then, like they, like yesterday when they were showing the ladies gymnastics, they're like, oh here, let's show you a couple people from other countries
Right.
that. And then I always said to
I
myself,
missed that too.
yeah, it's like, because you know what happens? Sometimes what will happen is they will spend an entire coverage on the Americans, and then the Americans don't medal, and you're completely confused. You're like, wait.
Yes. Where'd that person come from? I had no idea they were doing well, right?
Yeah, and they used to do a lot more.
Oh, that team is good?
Like I'm telling you, Missy Franklin came last. No one talked about the other 7 women that were in the race.
But you know what?
Nobody.
But you know what they've changed also is the way that they're actually competing. You used to see okay, if I'm remembering correctly, because this is what I was thinking about. Like, it's time for the floor exercise. You didn't see back-to-back-to-back Americans.
No,
You
they would show
saw
everyone.
everyone, and
Everyone.
they didn't even, and maybe it
The
was just what
competition was
they.
longer then. That's part of the issue too. So
But
now,
maybe. But wait, maybe.
No, they
But
just
no, like
edit Americans together. Yeah,
Is
they
that
just
what it
edited the
is?
Americans.
They're just
Yeah, they've
editing them
edited the
together?
Americans together because if we were like if you, the only way for you to get any sort of a version of what's really happening is by watching it on NBC.com. Otherwise, if you wait, which is what
No, I watched on
Yeah.
NBC.com,
Yeah,
and
but
all I saw was Americans.
Are
If
they
I
doing
wanted,
it that way too?
yes, if I
thought you
wanted,
no,
could
I
see
don't
it
think
in
so.
live.
I
no,
think
I
when
watched
because,
it. I
because
watched it.
today I watched I mean, if you watch I don't know, they probably changed the feed, but I was watching like the men's gymnastic. I saw everybody. They had American commentators.
Well, you know
but
what?
I
They
mean,
had to show everyone because the American men didn't have a chance at that.
When I
right,
was watching the
probably
women,
so.
when I was watching the women the other night, all I on TV or not on TV, online, all I saw was Americans. I
That's
saw more
crazy.
other people when I actually because I decided that I missed the commentary, so I stopped watching. I said I'm not going to watch it live. I'm just going to stay away from social media and I'm going to watch it later on TV so that it's fresh for me and I don't know what happened. And I saw more people then than I did when it was like they just followed the Americans. It was boom, boom, boom. And it was like they all, the way
And I
that it was
think
presented, the way that I thought it was happening was the American team was on vault, the Russian team, say, was on floor, the Chinese girls were on the bar. That's how it felt like it was happening. And I'm like, it didn't used to be like this. And I wonder if that's really what's happening.
Well, I think for this competition, maybe you're remembering when they're doing the all around, but for this competition, they were moving from apparatus to apparatus.
They always move as a team that way?
Yeah. In this, I mean, and maybe that has changed, and maybe because it's kind of like with figure skating. I don't know if you remember in figure skating, they never used to show the figure eight competition. The
right,
figures.
Right.
They would never,
figures,
the actual figures that you just skip on in, and then you're like, oh. So I'm wondering if some of these things were just never presented to us in a certain way, because I remember rotating through countries. I remember watching the floor and watching different people performing, but maybe it's just like nostalgia. I don't know.
Because back in the day, particularly like up until 1996 Olympics, they used to have 2 days of team competition.
Yeah.
So you had the compulsory and you had the optional. You had those, and way back in the day, they used to have compulsories for individual events. Anyway.
Oh dear.
So it used to be. That's one of the reasons why floor exercise looked so sloppy and hot mess. Because there was a set of skills that everyone had to have.
Yeah.
They had to point your toes, and you were being graded on those slight little things. So when Ali Raisman is flexing her foot, and it's like, oh, can't even do a money display.
I'm not. I just did that.
She couldn't even make a team back in the day.
No, I'm not. I'm not a fan of the modern floor exercise. I love the tumbling. I think the tumbling has completely improved. It's the best it's ever been. But the connecting the dots, connecting the things that happen, that's gone out the door. They just march to one. It used to be about a sort of fluidity. Moving
That's what I'm saying. The men floor exercise much look far more exciting to me. They move across from element to element way better. But I mean, it's
interesting.
I don't know
it's a change. It's a change to the sport.
But you were saying, Tara?
No. I said it's a real change.
But I mean, we were talking about like the coverage and whatever, and not to sidetrack. But I just watched last week tonight with John Oliver last episode, and he talked about journalism and how journalism sort of like changed. And like the whole age push to digital content and how people are going for more clickbaits, etc. And I think that's what we're seeing, because I mean, I'm just watching swimming right now, and I don't know how many freaking times we gotta talk about Michael Phelps and his fucking baby. We talked about this shit at nauseam at the Olympic trials. He isn't that special to have a baby. It happens every fucking day, all the time. And there's so many other people, and which makes it like And for them, this is like,
it's actually kind of insulting if everyone saw that tweet that went around about who they think actually watches the Olympics and why they watch
right,
it.
exactly,
And why they sort of produce it. They think overwhelmingly women watch it, so obviously women don't care about the actual competition. We need to find out about Michael Phelps' child. That's
Right.
yeah. And I mean, like, it's just one of those things that just like, I mean, like, at this point, just like, oh my God, can we stop now? Because I mean, like, can we talk about something else interesting? And even now, instead of getting actual cover and talking about other athletes in the game, whatever, we gotta be, oh, what did Mama Phelps tweet out? I don't give a fuck what Mama Phelps tweet out. That's stupid. It's really stupid. And now, what tends to happen now, right? So another crazy shit that happened as a result. So Katrina Hoshu, her husband, American, cheering and carrying on whatever. Dan Hicks, the swimming commentator, said, like, he's responsible for her success. All the crazy, insane feminists who can't even see the trees from the forest, when I'll be like, oh my God, how insulting. We always praise the coach for athletes. It's what it happens all the time.
And separately, not only that, because the other thing is you have to pay attention to their individual story, which is that, he in particular was instrumental in getting her back in the swimming pool. He's not only her coach, he's also her husband. So there's also a dynamic there. So it's not like they were saying that he was wholly responsible.
Right, but funny, right? We can't say that, right? We can't say he's responsible for her in the pool, but we can talk about how Michael Phelps' girlfriend and his baby instrumental in getting him back in the pool. I can't. You see? Stop.
No, right. Because you know what? Because it was silly.
People come after me. Okay, then. I love and respect feminists. I'm all for it. But some of you people need to check y'all bullshit. This is white girl feminism ain't really cute all the time. Y'all need to stop. And I'm gonna say it like that.
Alrighty then. Moving on.
Anyway.
Well, people just need to make sure they're not always triggered by anything that seems sexist, because then you come out and look like a fool. Because in that context, I was like, why did they say that?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I read it, and I was like, oh, I see why they're saying that. I mean, there have been other overtly sexist things, but I get why they were talking about that.
Yeah, but meanwhile, I don't hear them and see these same people going on about that. Jumping on the bandwagon for how many times you gotta hear about Simone Biles' grandparents who are parents, bullshit, whatever, and how many times you gotta hear that story. I don't hear y'all stopping that madness from continuing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on to the actual tennis, ladies. First, for the actual tennis. So
again, I'm reminded tennis in the Olympics. It just feels extra. But anyway.
I agree, and I had a conversation with a coworker of mine today, and she said, "Really, should we play?" And I'm just like, I hear you on that, and I totally agree to, because to me this is like a whole vanity event. But would you really pay money and tune into NBC to watch some college kids or somebody from the club tennis play tennis at the Olympics? Would you? No, you won't. You would not. Well, I literally heard this competition came up with NBA basketball as well. Should be professional athletes, should American guys come out and play since they dominate so well? Well, the fact of the matter is that like NBA is so popular that most of the countries that participate in the Olympics, they have players who play in the NBA. So if Australia, Croatia, France is sending their professional players, and America, just so you know, professional basketball is played in other places. Right? Italy, France, Russia. It's why Kobe Bryant speaks fluent Italian, because he played pro ball in Italy. So, I mean, if they're sending pro athletes or whatever, it's just like Olympic is supposed to be the best of the best, okay? And these people are the best out there, yes. They're not getting any money, yes. But what I think our problem with the tennis in the Olympics is how much people make a fucking big deal about it. Oh my gosh, she's playing for her country. So is everybody else.
I know.
Everybody else is playing for their country. They're not playing for money. They're not playing for a big car at the end of the day. Maybe their country might give them that. But I mean, like, they're all playing for their country. So, you know, your fave's patriotism isn't bigger and better and much more than the person you hate across the net. It doesn't matter.
Well,
and I think we need to just kind of play off that bit.
I think a lot of the chatter going around in our circles, it's a big deal because it seems like so many people aren't there. But let's really think about the reasons why they're not there. They're not there because they're unpatriotic. They're not there
that's
because they're not getting points this time around. There's a huge tournament coming up, hello, the U.S. Open, that they feel they can better prepare at another place. They don't feel safe, and they don't
got
feel
families.
safe for their health and for their bodies, their physical safety. I mean, let's be real. They're not there because they don't want to play for their country. That isn't it. They don't feel safe.
And probably someone told them that.
For some reason that is we are supposed to beat them up about that.
Yeah,
which is so strange because
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know because I follow a lot of sports, but I don't follow so many as closely, obviously, as tennis. But I'm sure there's other people missing in other places.
Well, I mean, the other
You know,
thing
there
they're
were lots of
missing, they're
NBA.
missing in golf.
Yeah, there are NBA players I know that didn't show up, and they didn't show up because they don't feel safe. We have to think about this, you know, take the athlete away from it. These are everyday people. They have a life after their sports career. They want families. They don't want to take a chance of going to play some tournament that at the end of the day, yes, it's the Olympics. Yes, it doesn't happen all the time. It is a big deal. But for them, this is their job. Are they going to jeopardize their career because they might get bit by a mosquito and then have a child that, you know, doesn't have a fully developed brain? I mean, come on, people.
Well, the other thing to me is, aside from even the Vika concern, right, is realistically...
Not Vika,
Vika. Oh, sorry. Vika's Vika. Oopsie,
Vika is having her baby.
Her baby.
Okay?
I know. Your baby's going to be fine, Vika. No, I mean, aside from that concern, it's also, let's just look at how the IOC has failed to take care of the athletes in the most basic sense. So it's like, to me, I can't get justifiably angry with athletes when I look at how the village was prepared for them. I mean,
was it prepared?
Or was, you know what I mean? It's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum that you had to do. You had to make sure that the village was prepared for them, that they were going to feel generally safe.
Give them a toilet that works.
Yeah, I mean, aside from so to my mind, it's like you can't judge an athlete who decides to make his or her own choices about what they're willing to put up with, when the organization that's charged with taking care of them seems kind of lax. So, for my mind, it's
I walked out of a job one time because there was cockroaches and I didn't want to take them home. So I'm not judging anybody.
I mean, but you know what? I have to say this. A couple of things. I mean, one. I mean, three things. One. I mean.
Before you might want to get through them all. Don't keep repeating it. No,
First thing is that if someone from country X doesn't show up, someone else from country X get that opportunity.
Yeah.
So people don't get mad. Y'all are getting thanks Reggie.
This is why we got Reggie.
Exactly. And he's all happy and excited for that opportunity. So don't be grudgy. You're just simply mad because your fave isn't going, and you don't claim you don't get the gold medal, or perhaps you think your country's chances are lessened by this opportunity. That's not what the Olympics is necessarily about. But to just relax yourself, it's just a regular competition.
Right.
Two, I mean, I could understand why people don't want to show up there because the IOC don't give two fucks about drugs and doping. So why should I go kill myself and you have superhuman robots running up and down and there's no point to any of that. So the IOC don't care. I don't give a fuck. And also, three, when it comes to particularly in tennis, tennis in the Olympics isn't like a 250 where anybody who wants to show up and then you try to qualify. There are specific rules and regulations as to who can get in and where people can get in. So that's why there are countries there that you would see that you ordinarily wouldn't see, who wouldn't generally qualify. So it isn't like it's an open thoroughfare for everyone get in and do whatever they want to do. So your faves probably couldn't get in because I know some people particularly don't want someone upset because Julia Gerges couldn't get in on the German side, and when someone on the team dropped out, Annika Beck, I think, and someone from another country came in, and those were just the rules of that they can have a much more favorable participation from around the world, a more global participation. So it isn't like Wimbledon where the top 110 gets in and then everyone for the qualification and the wild cards. It doesn't work like that. I think the only person who was guaranteed spots in any place are the host nation. So that's why we saw Brazil in the platform synchro diving and they didn't do shit.
Well, I mean, overall, what has the tennis been like? I mean, obviously, the most important thing that's happened in your mind? What's the most sort of noteworthy thing that's happened thus far?
I gotta say that Andreen can't have any more faves because her faves keep fucking up my faves. This is the second time her fave is fucking up my fave at an Olympics.
What?
Delpo broke Federer, got Andy Murray running ragged in the Olympic finals, and then Kirsten Flipkins. Well, I can't give Kirsten all of the credit because I'm kind of mad at Venus, and don't any motherfucker try to come for me because I am mad at Venus. I have been with Venus when she was snotty nose and crying and being like, I see it's out, it's out. Why are we all look? You can't come. Venus and I go way, 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 way back. Okay. So I can come for Venus and be upset with Venus.
I want y'all to know I called Realz after that loss and I said, are you okay?
I was mad.
He was very angry. He said, you can't talk to me right now. You can't talk to me right now. Nobody can fucking talk to me right now. I was driving. My destination was about 15 minutes away. And for about 15 minutes, I heard, you can't talk to me right now. Can't nobody fucking talk to me right now.
I mean, I can't even deal.
But you know what? Listen. What I said this to somebody else, and I'll say it here. This was supposed to be the most important tournament in Venus's summer.
Right.
This was not treated like the most important tournament.
No, it was not.
Venus went everywhere, depleted her body, was exhausted, I think, by the time she got to Rio, was completely vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then, like everyone else, seemed to be carrying things there. And I think it really got in her. I mean, and Flipkins is like the worst person. If you're not 100% up, Flipkins is just the worst person.
Run you ragged.
Right? She'll run you ragged, and then she'll just do different things to the ball. So it's not like you're going to ever feel comfortable, right? That's what Flipkins does. Like, she'll be slicing and dicing you. And if you're not 100% alert and capable of just kind of staying engaged, on a normal day, Venus handles Flipkins. But no.
Right.
It's just not happening.
It was ugly. It was ugly. It was just ugly, and it was sad because there's no more. There are no more Olympics for
And
Venus.
then the doubles. I mean, I don't know if she's chosen to do mix, but then they lose in the doubles, and as they're losing in the doubles, I'm worried. I'm like, okay, well, don't lose. So don't take too long to lose if you're gonna lose because Serena still has her match to play.
Right?
It's like. It's one of these things where it's like overcommitment, But
for me, yeah. Go ahead, Andreen.
No, I was about to say, can we talk about? We'll come back to it because I need to process the fact that the most injured player is still in the tournament. Why is Rafa Nadal still in the tournament when he's having wrist pain? He's still in all three parts of this Olympics. Novak Djokovic is out. Tsonga is out. Everyone else who's had anything noteworthy happen to them is practically out on the men's side. But guess what? Rafa Nadal, Mr. Wrist Injury, is still in all three competitions. All three. What is happening?
Leading up, we were hearing that he might only play doubles because he wasn't 100% yet.
Let me tell y'all something.
I saw him play a point or two, and I was like,
to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Thank you very much.
And he had some charms worked on that wrist.
Professor Snape looked up some kind of magic potion. I need these tennis players. I need a tennis doctor to come and tell me how tennis have these miraculous, crazy injuries and maladies that no one has ever heard of and seem to defy everybody else's usual expectation, like this crazy appendicitis, Marianne Bartoli's virus, and all this. It's just crazy. I mean, did you see Nadal hit that? Look, Nadal looked fresher today than he looked at the beginning of all of last year and the beginning of this year. Crisp hitting of the ball. I mean, he looked like he cannot even miss. As a matter of fact, if Mark Lopez wasn't even trying to get in the mix, Nadal could have played doubles by himself today.
Oh shit! I didn't watch it.
Can I just say? Can we just then admit? Did Rafa Nadal take the summer off to play the Olympics?
Yes, he sure did.
Yes.
That might be the more logical explanation.
I'm curious about that. We'll see.
Hey, I don't know, but let's talk about Nole.
Did you all try to get stuck in an elevator for 40 minutes? Like
Nole.
You see, Andreen, that's why you're not feeling well. Had you been in an elevator for 40 minutes,
you'd have been good to go.
You would have been good to go. I
But
mean, like,
wait, did I read this right that Novak Djokovic had no break points?
Yes, you did.
Oh, shit.
Yes, you did. Okay, so for me, I started watching the match, and I was like, this isn't going to be any good. Like, I know Delpo likes to show up for the Olympics, but this isn't the Delpo that we know, right? He's not back. And he's still not back, let's be real.
Not really.
But anyways, I watched the beginning, and it was tight, and, everything's unserved, and then I said, oh, shit, I'm missing something, gymnastics, swimming, something, so I stopped watching it. And then there was a commercial break somewhere on regular NBC, so I turned it back to tennis, and I see that Djokovic is down a set, and he is down, I think it was 4-love in the tiebreaker, and I was like, oh my God. And I watched, Delpo take it home, and I was like, whoa, hey.
yeah, Nole played. This is like the second or third time I'm watching Nole playing some horrible tiebreaker.
It was ugly.
Typically, he's like on the money in those events, in those programs. But
I did not stick around for the rain of tears. I immediately switched the channel back.
I'm sorry, I don't believe those tears at all. I don't. I really don't.
I don't even fucking care. I'm just glad he's gone. I'm going to put it out there. I'm fucking glad he's gone. I was not ready to hear about how he won Olympic gold because we all know that that's what we were expecting because really who's going to beat him? Even though he hasn't looked too great lately. I mean, he honestly hasn't looked great lately. I have my theories on that. I'm happy to share them with you privately.
Well, you know what?
DM me.
No, but you know what though? Novak was, because obviously immediately after the match there had to be a rationale for why Novak lost, and the rationale was that he was having some sort of shoulder issue, which if you remember correctly in Toronto, I think that's where they were, he was having issues there as well. And I was like, well, even if Novak is basic, he's still gonna get through the draw, and he's still gonna win because Novak has not been. I mean, I've seen Novak play well. Novak has not played at the peak of his powers this year. At all. Yeah, no, at all.
Comfortably, And he's not even at the point where it looked like these gimme match, or someone could be like, I sense something is wrong with him. I have a winning strategy. No, I mean this is to me. It's like, look, first of all, Nole family, aka Nole gods, y'all need to have several seats in the back and drink a cup of shut the fuck up. Because you know what? Yeah, man can lose. It's tennis. People lose all the time. Okay? Y'all don't have to create some kind of narrative. He got shoulder injury. It's tennis. He's supposed to lose. He more than likely will win most of the matches, but he can lose. And just accept that and relax. Okay?
Yeah. Y'all he was outplayed.
People happy that he's lost. But let that go, people. It's not that serious.
He was outplayed. Guess what happens? What always happens, aside from Rafa, who I think seems to be impervious to the #1 seed jinx, most tennis players who are ranked #1 are not the ones that leave with a gold medal.
Nope.
Thank you very much.
I mean, tennis in the Olympics is dodgy as hell, and I mean it just is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Elena Dementieva couldn't win a major to save her life, and she has an Olympic gold medal. You know who has a medal too? Dinara Safina. You know who else has a? Vera Zavanareva. Couldn't you believe it?
Right?
3 Russians.
I mean, it's magic.
Usually flop. They got Olympic medals. Come on, people.
The Olympics it's a dubious distinction. The Olympics in tennis land, in my mind.
I took a Twitter poll today of what was the bigger upset, the Williams sisters or Nole. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, definitely Nole, because I could see the Williams sisters were not prepared, and that was a difficult team.
Yes.
You know what? This is a difficult team to start with.
No shade. Barbara got that revenge for that bagel that Venus gave her in Toronto and Montreal. She was on that net like white on rice. I'm telling you.
And they had more energy. They had more energy.
Oh yeah. I mean, Venus is obviously sick. She's fucking coughing all over court and shit, and it wasn't happening. I think everybody was kind of hanging on the fact that they've never lost in the Olympics when they've played together ever, but
that was 4 years ago. That was 16 years ago. People,
I mean, but they're older and whatever. But I thought that Nole was the definitely the bigger upset. I do think I had a conversation with someone on Twitter that said that wasn't even a fair question, that the Williams sisters aren't even ranked highly in doubles and it can't be considered an upset. I have to disagree with that. It absolutely was an upset. I don't care if they don't play together all the time and they're not match fit. You still don't doubt them. I mean, they have a good doubles record. It doesn't typically matter how much they've played or not played. They typically do well. They certainly don't usually lose in a first round. But
that was a dodgy as hell first round.
It was, it was.
That's not who you want to draw.
Exactly.
Neither one of them. I mean, for neither team do they want that.
They come out. You talk about, if you want to talk about patriotism when it comes to tennis, Czech girls got it in spades. I saw Kvitova drag Caroline. Kvitova was running faster and all over the place more than Caroline Wozniacki. When the fuck does that ever happen?
Right?
Well, you know what it is, because you know how Kvitova is.
She shows up for shit like this.
Some things, you know what I mean? Like, if her focus is on, yeah, and she's dialed in this week. You know, she has enough mojo, maybe it's hanging around with everybody, the right atmosphere. You know, that's how Kvitova is. The right circumstances align, and she is ready to go. She's clearly decided this week, which is the one week where everyone else is kind of like, this is her week to turn it on. Same thing with Garbi Muguruza, you know what I mean? It's like, she's like, hasn't done anything since the French, really, and now she's like, hey, maybe I can try to win this. You know,
well, she's only won 2 matches. Let's see if she could win a third. That's been always the problem, right? For Garbi.
But you know, that's my sense of it. You know, I think some people. Yeah, I mean, she's gonna have a tussle with Monica Puig, the 2 big hitters. But yeah, I mean, but my overall feeling is that some players seem very, I don't know, unenthusiastic.
Well, I think they were promised something and it didn't turn out to be that, right? Plus,
what were they promised?
I mean, they were promised it was gonna be exciting, it's gonna be all of this. But then
I think the off-court stuff was too aggravating.
I mean, think about it. It's like you going on a vacation. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to Hawaii, I'm going to Paris and whatever. And they're saying some jacked up 2-bit motel. You don't give a fuck about the Eiffel Tower after that. You don't care about the beaches or Waikiki. You don't give a shit about anything. You just want to be like, I want to go home. I want to go home. I could have been in bed watching TV, eating ice cream for a whole week, chill the fuck out. It's like coming in this rat hole of a place, you know, and it's all messy as fuck, and cameras everywhere.
So what happened? What happened with Caroline? What happened with the Frenchies? What happened with Caroline Garcia?
Well, I think Caroline and Kiki Mladenovic, I think what happened was that they misunderstood the rules. Insofar as to say they thought that they could wear their own thing, but you had to wear a matching outfit, even if it wasn't the same brand. Like Venus wear 11, whatever.
Who sends out this memo? How do you not get this memo like a week before you're packing?
Didn't click the link.
Well,
I mean, that's my question. Is like, I'm like, wait a minute. Did the ITF not do like an orientation?
Well, no, I think she said that the federation didn't properly inform them. They were under the impression that they could do this.
Because they probably were doing business as usual. They were going with the routine of what they do on tour, and somebody didn't go, hey, this is going to be different.
Fed Cup, like it's same thing on the Fed Cup. But the Olympics is like, if you notice Venus and Serena, do they want wearing matching style? They were wearing white tops and blue bottoms, and that's what the rules state. I guess you have to wear similar outfit in that regard.
That is the strangest thing in the world.
I know, but you know, they missed the whatever, and she was just like, you know, whatever. But you know what, Kiki, you let Madison Keys get away, and trust me.
I think she was being spoiled. It feels like something that was totally avoidable. Administratively.
I just like exactly. I just like, why are you gonna be making like if someone say change your clothes, girl? Just go change your top and be done with it. Why make a big fuss and scream about that and be like, I'm bothered by that?
No. I think that it was more than that though. I mean, this is the thing. I think a lot of the irritation by the players is not just the one thing. I think it was a cumulative effect of everything. Of some of them taking too long to get there, of arriving and not finding yourself in a nice location, and you know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, this is probably like the third thing, you're like, damn it, and now what do I do about this clothes? I mean, I think if that was the only thing, it'd be fine. It definitely seems to me that there was a cumulative effect. And it just also seems, listen, you look at all the tennis players, they don't have body languages that say they want to be there. The only ones that actually do, I will say, are curiously, the ones that are from South America.
Well,
Yeah. Because
yeah.
the energy is
They're
there,
home.
whatever.
They're home. It's like it feels like they've come home. It's like a local you know what I mean? It feels to me like those are the people who seem to be having the best time. The best time are the ones that either or like a Rafa Nadal who took off the entire summer
Well,
to prep for that. You know what I mean? It's just
Brazil love
like
him anyway. He plays well in Brazil. It's the way he wins his
Yeah.
points, when he
yeah,
can't win anywhere else.
and he's got like a hard court that's a fake hard court. You know what I mean? So it's like all the
Exactly.
things that is exactly right. It just seems like not everyone is in the zone here. And it's sad to see. I wish there could be
Well, it's
more
gonna be
to it.
interesting because I think what's gonna happen is that when Tokyo rolls around, nobody's gonna try to wanna go there. It's gonna be Kate trying to win a gold medal. Kate, get your life together, Kate.
No,
Yeah.
it won't be Kate. It'll be all the youngins. 4 years from now, all the young ones, all the young upstarts should be primed and ready. And let's be honest, Tokyo
Kate
will be
is
ready
gonna
for it.
take off the whole of the whole of the year and just show up, get
Listen,
that body right.
listen, if I were he, I'd be doing the same damn
Right.
thing.
Hey, why not,
Kate
right?
shutting down his season after World Tour finals. And then
Listen, can you talk about pressure though? Let's talk about pressure for 4K in 2020. So he just needs to stay
Oh,
the
wow.
course.
I'm telling you.
Anywho, so let's forecast a little bit in the future. There's some third
Well,
round matches.
Serena,
coming up.
but Serena got that monkey off of her back today, by
Yeah.
defeating Connie. And I mean, for me, it was just like, Serena, this girl clearly doesn't have anything. It's always been you. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
you who is messing yourself up again. Because I mean, she took the early lead in the first set. It was a point, a couple several break points to go up 4-love. Then just completely collapse, just complaining about line calls, this, whatever the case may be. Me were talking about Wineham. Can someone tell me from on Twitter why Mariana Alves still have a job, please? Could someone explain that to me, please? I don't understand how Mariana Alves still has a job as a tennis
Because she's
umpire,
got
gold
fans.
star
She's
level.
got fans.
But anyway, and Serena did what she needed to do in the big important point. She stepped up, she stayed on the baseline and moved forward. She kept finding herself in crazy points by being way behind the baseline and allowing Connie to be taking free swings at the ball. And in the second set particularly, she really stepped up and she played the big points really well, because there were times she served for the match to give a breadstick and she got broken, but she came back and broke her. So I mean, I'm saying this get monkey off her back, and there's another event for her to worry about. I think she should handle the competition, but this is a very tricky court, and plus Kvitova and Muguruza who can give her trouble. Though Kvitova only beat her once, but they're playing pretty well too. So I mean, I think they're in her half of the draw.
Well, somebody wanted us to talk about the Marian Alves thing. I watched it. I mean, I watched it after. So it was after I'd already known the outcome because I was out.
Mhm.
And, I mean, the thing about it is that's not why Venus lost that match.
Oh, no.
I mean, in that moment, I would want to focus on that. But Venus had many chances thereafter to take control of that match. And I guess people were also upset about the crowd, but now we all understand that this is just Rio's crowd. This is
Right.
who they are.
Rio don't do well with the brown people. They don't
No,
do
they
well
don't.
with the chocolate brown people.
They don't like the brown people and they don't like the Russians.
But I will say this, though. They love Serena. Regardless of who she's playing and whether she's losing or winning, they want her to win.
Because
So
I think
actually-
Serena brings people into a match, right? The
No,
history
I think
of it,
it's because
whatever.
they know her. They also know her. I was just wondering. I thought all along they would have known Venus, but I really think that they know Serena as the number one.
Right.
I didn't see that same sort of recognition. I don't think they remember that Venus used to be and continues to be awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
a
right?
possibility. No
You know
doubt.
what I mean? Like, there was a definite sense. I mean, everybody's like, how scandalous, you can't cheer against Venus. But I think we revere Venus more than they remember Venus, to be
Right.
honest. Because I was like, oh, are they not going to cheer for any of the Williams sisters? But no, they were comfortably cheering for Serena when she was down, when she was up. They wanted her to win all of her matches.
The other thing too, I think, with that Venus match is that was like the first day of the event. I think the second, the first day event. So only rich people came out. The stands were basically empty. So these rich bougie people with all of their isms and whatever, they didn't know shit. But I think the next day when they had the doubles and the crowd were filled up, whatever, you had a much more lively crowd. But I mean, like, look, Rio, we ain't gonna give you this is why you don't have nice things, Rio.
But
You
also,
know, as that booing
but also,
Venus
let's
look.
be
I
honest.
almost called Ren and said, I'd be like,
Wait.
collect your shit.
But let's be honest. Barbara she was very engaging as a tennis player on court.
Oh yes, I
you know what I mean? She was doing a lot more on court than Venus was able to do, and I think the audience was responding to that.
Even
and
more so than Serena as well.
Yeah.
Because Lucy looked like she was half dead herself, and she pulled out the next day. She retired from her match. But Barbara was carrying that match, and Barbara played a very, I don't hate to say this, but she played the most strategic. She was playing doubles. They were playing doubles.
Yeah.
Venus and Serena seemed like they were trying to play singles.
Yeah, their communication was off.
Yeah, their communication was off. Serena looked like I don't know, like she was taking signals from from
things were just
from the traffic light or something.
So now, I mean, I think realistically, I mean, Serena's fine. She seems to be moving on. She's going to be playing someone less scary, hopefully, for folks next round. But she's playing Svitolina. We'll see how that goes.
Yes.
But the other thing to note, too, though, in tennis land is that really Novak Djokovic's Olympics is over.
No, he's playing doubles. He lost in doubles?
No, he lost in doubles. He's lost in doubles.
Oh.
And he's chosen not to do mix. So, I mean...
And he's pulled out of Cincinnati.
Wait. A certain Nole fam on Twitter, who shall remain nameless, can be like, oh, you can still win doubles. I heard that's good as gold. But no, can't even.
No, but you know what? I mean, but listen, you know what? Just think about this, guys. Novak Djokovic was the most dominant player on the tour. His season was also building towards this. Remember, this is all Novak has wanted, was this gold. And, I mean, dear Lord, this is really flat.
Get through the first round?
No. I mean, he didn't get through the first round, and then he lost in the second round of doubles. I mean, this is like, listen, this is like sad. This is sad in a way that is like unavoidable. I mean, because when this happened to Federer, he was able to at least ride the goal with Stanley. But this has got to be brutal for Novak Djokovic.
I mean, look, I think you should get over it. You still have life, liberty, health, and children.
Stop. This motherfucker is going to
look. Because
he's going to show up at the U.S. Open like a fucking ninja.
Well, sure he should, because if he's withdrawn from Cincy, that's smart. Because if he came to the Olympics with an injury, it's probably not a good idea. So, I mean, I think he should listen. He wants to end his year on a good note. Take the U.S. Open and possibly take the World Tour Finals.
Because you know what? Final? I think that's
don't take it from him.
Well, listen, you know what? Andy Murray actually has a shot. No, Andy Murray actually has a shot at the #1 title, depending on how the end of the year. So it is best for Novak Djokovic to heal his body because he could actually lose the #1 ranking if he is injured during the fall.
True.
So
I'm ready for him to lose it. I'm ready for a different #1. It's been a while.
I know, but dear Lord, talk about a bad Olympics. I have to say, I think
well,
he might
it'll
have
be
had
interesting.
A worse Olympic than
I mean, again,
he's had a worse Olympic than Federer ever did.
We have seen this historically. I mean, the #1 player doesn't really. The Olympic isn't a guarantee for them, right?
But this is Novak.
Given Novak and given the things that people have said about him, they can't imagine him losing to anyone. I mean, this has got to be pretty devastating. This is a devastating turn for Novak. And also because, being king of Serbia in terms of the way, I mean, because people are like, don't tell me that, tennis isn't important in the Olympics. I mean, for some people, it is their moment to transcend tennis.
Right.
And I think that for Novak to be able to transcend tennis, he really thought the Olympics was going to be that moment for him. So I think it's wrapped up in lots of
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he responds.
I'm sure he's going to respond fine. He's going to try to lock down that U.S. Open.
I think, but if it hurt him emotionally the way that he cried on court, we'll see.
Listen, go home and hug your son and be with your family and call it a day.
Look. I mean, if this was like the U.S. Open or this was Wimbledon, I'd be like, oh my God, this is insane. Die, this is insane, crazy. But I mean, come on now.
But for Novak, listen, come on now. Realz. Novak will be 33 at the next Olympics. This is what we're talking about. This is not just Wimbledon or the U.S. Open. Those come every year. And I mean, for me, I don't think about anything about the Olympics. It's nothing for me in that way. But for Novak, who has built his year and his dominance on finally nailing that thing and winning for Serbia,
you should have let Federer have the Australian Open, motherfucker.
Oh, Lord, dear.
And you would have saved your body. But no, you didn't. You got greedy.
All right.
And you tried to fuck him up in the semifinal.
Okay. You can't have no perspective. I'm trying to bring it home to you. Anyway, we're going to roll this sucker off.
Anyway,
where is your... Wait a minute. Andreen, where's your buddy Chris when we need him? I'm trying to get you there, but you won't.
Okay. I hear what y'all are saying, and y'all are probably right. But for me, it's just like, look. And plus,
it's like Venus leaving the Olympics without a medal. This is what Venus has wanted all year.
But Venus left 2004 Athens without a medal as well.
So
girl, you got
but
4.
This is her last. This might be her last one. You got no perspective, dude. You got no perspective. Novak is gonna start.
Hold on.
Yeah, you're fired.
No, but I mean, okay. Let us not be greedy. Okay, Venus has had 4 glorious Olympics with great moments. So this is her 5th Olympics.
Yeah, so think about that, because Nole's had none.
No, that's not true. Nole has a bronze medal from 2008.
Ooh. I know, we know he does, but that's not what Nole wants. He's a number one player.
But I mean, understand that. Okay, then look, Federer. I mean, Michel Kwan doesn't have a gold medal.
You can't keep saying that. We're understanding it, but we're just saying
nothing is guaranteed. It's sport.
I know. Come on, Realz. But we're saying this is a shock. Come on. Is this not
it's
a shock?
Fucking shocker, and I'm enjoying it.
Maybe I'm too happy to be shocked. Maybe that's what it is.
Yes, it is.
Listen, I don't care, but I'm just saying I get the perspective. I mean,
I'd be shady. That was
being
I'm not right to say that.
All right, hey, guess what? We're wrapping it up. That's it.
Anyway,
how do we want to roll out of here?
This is how we're gonna roll out. Y'all better bitches get ready, because Andreen and Janina are gonna be together, live and in person. From Cincinnati.
Live and in person in Cincinnati. Yay! And guess what? Janina doesn't even have to be upset that Nole is gonna win it, because it's Federer gone. Because apparently, supposedly, I mean, I don't know. We have to wait until it's fully confirmed. Supposedly, Novak Djokovic has withdrawn from Cincy. So no Novak, no Roger. Probably Venus now, though. Why not?
Now she decides to put all the matches, right? Put all the tournament, right?
Stop it.
Showed up.
We're going to be live in Cincy. I mean, I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to come up with something good for y'all. We'll try to figure out
what y'all ladies got to do? Y'all got to find Sergey. And
Sergey is probably not going to be there. I asked him.
Plus, you got to protect Sergey from those big, bad journalists, be running around, be telling stories on the man, and see if you can snag up some signing. And I am sure Nicolas Mahut and Pierre Hubert will be there, because they got nothing else to do with their life right about now.
Apparently the best thing for you to do is apparently go to Applebee's. I mean, I've ignored Applebee's my entire life, but this is
you will spend plenty of time at Applebe's.
Exactly.
Andreen, no, you are better than that. No.
I'm apparently not better than that. So anyway, if you spot us, because I don't think there are that many black people in Cincy.
There's not. Come and say hello.
Come say hello.
Well, according to Madison Keys, you're wow.
Okay, can we roll out on that, though? That I will say that the Olympics is clearly the place where Madison Keys was finally brought into the black fold.
And she neglected it.
Well, I don't know if she neglected it, but everyone called her black. Not just that. I mean, like, she has been tagged on everything with Black Girl Magic. All the other countries have tagged her as an awesome black girl. So, I mean, America, guess
embrace
what?
it.
Well, look, Erin Brokavich was like, look, it doesn't really matter to me. It's just like, now. It's like,
bye, boo.
I mean, can we talk about that Venus is a very shady bitch, and I love it.
Venus was not being shady. She was welcoming her to the fold.
She wasn't being shady.
Oh, come on.
Oh, okay, she was totally being shady, and I fucking love it. But, whatever. That's it.
Okay, so who's winning medals, people? We won't be doing this before.
I mean, you have the draw in front of you. I don't know how you.
I don't have the draw.
I have the draw in front of me, and let me tell you who's left.
Okay.
Serena's left. Svitolina. Petra. Makarova.
Okay.
Muguruza.
So wait. Are you reading it down?
I'm reading it down.
Okay.
So we got Laura Sigmund going against Flipkins.
Oh,
We've got
God.
Madison Keys going against Carlos Suarez Navarro.
Ooh.
We got Sarah Irani going against Kastakatina. We got Kuznetsova.
Medal.
Hey, your favorite's still there with all her bitching. She's still there. Kuznetsova is there against Kanta. Stosur against Kerber.
Muguruza is in Serena's.
Yes.
Half?
It is. No. Actually, she's gonna. If she would only play her, possibly in the final.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to be going with Serena because I think that she's going to be angry that her and Venus lost first round, and she's going to take it out on everybody else and storm through the shit and take the gold. That's where I'm going. And you know what? I think I would, maybe it's just wishful thinking because, I do genuinely love the Olympics. Madison, get your fucking ass together and get a medal. You can. This draw is fine for you.
She should be able to get through Carla Suarez Navarro.
Get a medal.
Yeah, she has. I mean, what about Kuznetsova? This could be her shot.
Kuzi, get a medal, baby girl.
I know. See, look at
my dream podium. My dream podium right now is Serena, Kuznetsova, and Keys. That's what I want. I don't even care in what order. Just get it done, girls.
I kind of care. I kind of have Pretty Woman up in there with a gold medal on it.
Okay, so let me tell you who's left on the men's side, and you tell me who's on the podium. Del Potro versus Taro Daniel, the Japanese fellow. RBA versus Mueller. Ugh. Rafa Nadal is still in versus Seppi tomorrow.
They're in that half, right?
Yeah, Sugita versus Simone.
Seppi, can you give me a Federer moment, please? Seppi?
Cuevas versus Bellucci. Duty Sellis still around versus Goffin. Oh, dear Lord. Monfils versus Cilic.
Oh my.
I don't know, Andrej Martin from Slovakia versus Kei Nishikori. I know. Look at these people.
Wow.
The men's draw is crazy. Ferrer versus Dansky. Elias versus Steve Johnson. Steve Johnson's still around, people.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, but you know what? He still has. Listen, the men's draw is so crazy. There's a bunch of second rounds that hasn't even started yet.
Oh,
well, let me tell you something. Okay.
Yeah, Benoit Paire versus Fognini. Okay. And Juan Monaco, your pretty boy, is versus Andy Murray.
Pico, get a medal.
So let me tell you who. I can't tell you who I want to win because I don't care, but these are people I don't want to medal. I don't want Nadal to medal. I don't want Cilic to medal. I don't want Murray to medal. I don't want Paire to medal. And there's somebody else up in there. Steve Johnson to medal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't want him to medal. Anybody
such a bitter
because
bitch.
You know what? No. I'm not. I mean, like, it would be a wonderful story for anybody else to win. That'd be an amazing story.
Well, you know what?
It's true.
Fognini. No one Fognini to win. Yes, that's the last name.
I don't know. Like, I would love to see Monfils get a medal. That would be amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful.
Corey would get a medal. Would be amazing.
Bellucci for Tokyo.
Bellucci maybe. I mean, Bellucci in front of the home crowd. I mean, that would be nice.
Be so awesome.
And you know what? I'm fine with Murray getting him. I'm fine. No, listen. I would think it would be cool if Murray got gold and defended. Oh, it's okay for Serena to defend gold, but not Murray. Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say I'm always rational and logical.
Shame
I'm just saying
well,
how
I'm
I feel.
fine with it. I would, you know what's fun? You know what's fun about it? Somebody unexpected is getting a medal.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I want. Because
it's going to be great.
It's going to happen.
These scrubs can barely win at 250 without one of these people in the face.
But you can't take away that medal. You can't take away the person's medal.
Hey, you can't take away those 250s either. Back off.
Yes, okay. All right.
No. You could side-eye those 250 and 500. You know, like what Brisbane did to Ferrer? Pretend like he didn't even exist?
Oh, my God. All right.
Well, it's been lovely. We're looking forward to the rest of the Olympics. We probably won't close it out, but we'll just start fresh in Cincy. Unless something completely shocking happens, and I can't imagine what that would be.
Meanwhile, go Simone Biles, go Alison Felix. Just
Go
gotta put that
Usain
out there.
Bolt. I want him to keep winning.
I want him to keep winning too. As I said last week or just yesterday, the black part of the tournament starts next week. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, track and field is just, I mean, look, I just gotta say this again. I mean, the Olympics is just
That's
like
really
2 weeks.
harsh. It's really bad. But back when I was younger, that's what we used to say.
Oh,
Because the
man.
first week was always like overwhelmingly white sports. I hate
It
to
is.
say that,
It
but
is.
it was
It still is.
overwhelmingly represented by white people. In the water. And
But that's
and
changing now, by the way.
it's very much changing. And it was also the same thing with gymnastics. We'd have a 1 or 2 outlier, but now it's all changing. But now, so you can't even proclaim it. I can understand why the country's going crazy. It's not even a white week anymore. I get it.
Oh my God. All right.
Anyway, let me just say, I love track and field, but y'all need to wear less clothing like they do in swimming. Just saying. Just saying.
Wow.
But it's still hot and glorious just the same, though.
Oh,
And as
my
always,
God.
I'm looking forward to synchronized swimming. Just saying.
I just came out of my skin right there. Sorry, that was
Okay.
just a very backwards old idea. But yes,
It's okay.
it's really great though. It's really fantastic so far. I can't believe it, Janina. We're gonna have to be careful. We have to make sure we catch some Olympics while we're in Cincy. Did you not realize this?
I want you to know that I upped my data to unlimited for the month so that we can watch on my phone.
Oh, Janina, then you can't call me if you're watching the Olympics. I can't even call you.
No, you can't. You can call Andreen's phone.
I love it. She's got no shame. No shame in her
None.
game. Unlimited data. Okay, y'all. It's been fun.
Then thank you, fans. I mean, it's an Olympics edition, so if we're messy just like Rio. So have a good evening and comment. And I just want to say one more thing, and this is just it. We never really thank our fans who always commit to commenting. It's really wonderful. We enjoy your engagement, even the hateration that we get, but we enjoy
And
the
the
critical
pushback.
point.
We love the pushback.
We do love the pushback, and we do enjoy it. And even
Keep
the
it up.
praise.
Bring it.
Keep it up, and when we get rich, you get rich too. So
Stay with us.
stay with us. Thank
Good
you. Have a
night.
good night, ladies. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.